Well, it's a new day and we're ready to start installing this top um, top snare wire mechanism. I had to clean all this by hand, um, just with some 4/0 steel wool. I couldn't get my buffer in there, so I've taken the time to clean it up as much as I could. There's quite a bit of corrosion going on here. But all in all, it looks better than it did. Does it look perfect? No. But anyway, I've cleaned it. What little I did do, I did as best as I could. So I'll go over it a little bit more. But it's hard to do by hand, get it perfect. But we just want to get the rust off so it doesn't continue to corrode. So this piece will go on in the inside here first, and then this part here, which I have taken the liberty of cleaning, and by the way, it was bent slightly this way, so I straightened it out. It was bent a little bit on an angle here, just from dropping it. No respect, get no respect. So I've cleaned it as good as I can. Looks pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and install those parts, and I'll bring you right back. When you're installing these parts here, I always put lock washers on even on the inside. So these longer needle nose pliers are pretty handy. You just slip them in there, and then you can put the lock washer right on there, and it's just a lot easier. So I'll put another one on there. As you'll remember, this side had the little felt on this side of it, so that's how we know that it goes on the throw-off side, because the throw-off side is right here, so you want to be able to reach these mechanisms, I guess, with your left hand quickly. So I've got that all screwed in. Now this part goes on here, just slips right in here like this. And then we've got a brass washer and a nut that goes on those. So slip that on there. Then I'll give that a tighten up. And just like magic, I'm back, and I've got this all cleaned up. Boy, that only took 1 second, didn't it? So I've got this rod all cleaned up. There's some pitting here and there. Okay, that's all right. We can live with that. What, a 95-year-old drum, I guess. And both sides are the same. So we're going to install this. You have to turn it. You don't want to have the other side in. This thing, let me show you what's going on here. Let me put the camera so you can kind of see. Boy, it's real fiddly. These little square parts here have to go they go in these square holes. Whoops, I'm not showing you. They go in these square holes. So when you put these on here, I'm not doing a very good job of showing you this. What has to happen is you have to put this thing the end of the rod here has to go inside of the this receiver part here has to go in there. Okay. What I had to do is I had to loosen the screws out here. See where my finger is? I just loosened these screws. They're still all, the nuts are still on there and the washers. And I had to actually put this plate here, this plate here into this plate. Now it's in there. So that way when you turn this rod, it brings this plate up and down. This is what holds the snares on. That came off there. No big deal. Now we'll just put it back on there so you get a good idea. It's pretty simple. And I'm going to tighten these screws up over here now. Okay, more fiddling around here. We got this butt. This is the butt side of the internal top throw off here. I've cleaned all these parts. I was actually able to use my wheel on these parts. So don't forget that this part here has to go up through here. So you bring this part back. And then you just put this one on here, like that. And then we have to flop this thing over to receive on the holes of this bottom part. Oops. You see here. Hard to see with this camera in my way. There it is. Now you want to hold it while you get your screws in line. I'm just going to screw them in with my handy dandy screwdriver, and hopefully they land where they should. There it is. Okay, great. I don't have the nuts and washers on, but I'm just putting it in place so it'll hold everything. And then I'm going to want to put a lock washer on there. And another one. Oh, you heard that fall, didn't you? Okay. You've heard me use the term fiddly. Well, this is the dictionary version of fiddly here. It's really it'll test your patience, let's say. All right, now we got to put this tensioning knob on here. This is the last bit on here. I got to pop the rod through the back side here. Got to find it first. And there it is. Put the rod through the shell here. If I can find it. Sometimes I just have to turn the camera off and get my brain around this because having the camera in front of you while you're working doesn't really necessarily work real good all the time. Okay, I've cleaned these threads really good. I've cleaned the knob. Now that actually puts the tension where you want it on the snares. And there's a throw off going up and down. I'm going to oil it now. Just lightly oil. At this point we are at a crossroads, and you know, in the pictures, if you look back at what it shows in that Ludwig drummer, I don't see a handle. You just see this knob sticking up here. And I guess they use the knob on here to throw it on and off. But I was looking at my parts, and I have this. This is one of the greatest throw-offs. This is called a timepiece throw-off. It's actually called the professional throw-off. It's a P80, a P32. I'm not sure. It's a we always called them piccolo throw-offs, but it has this timepiece. I named it the timepiece way back in the 80s, and it seems to have stuck. Anyway, this is what I call the timepiece throw-off. It's one of the greatest throw-offs. They should have kept them going. But it also has this extension arm that would, and this is a reproduction arm. Someone made them at one point. I'll take it off of there. And I was thinking one of these, this arm would actually look pretty good on here. It would just be just about right on this drum. So I was thinking of maybe putting this one on it. Let's have a look here. Now this is a little bit this slot they've cut in it isn't exactly right. It's not really perfect, but get it on there. I just think that this thing would look better with the arm on it. I just think that it would work better with that. I think I could live with that better. I think it's just more complete. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm not a big fan of diplomat heads, but I suppose that could be my own naivete. And there's always an application for everything. So if there ever was an application for this diplomat head, I would think on this top of this drum would be actually the exception. So I think we're going to go with that. I don't know how it fits. I mean, it's a little tight, but that's the nature of the beast. So we're going to go with that. And we'll see how it sounds with those top snares. And there you have it. The 1929 Ludwig & Ludwig Super Power Separate Tension Snare Drum. There's the snares on. Snares off. Hope you've enjoyed this edition of Vintage Drum Restoration Garage. And don't forget to put a thumbs up. And thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Okay, so I'm going to play Charles Wilcoxon's solo number 1. First time I'll play it without the top snares. The second time I'll play it with the top snares at metronome marking 92.